Hello, and welcome to another webinar powered by TeamDrive. Sync smarter, share safer. Today's webinar session, we will dive into the web client. So, access anywhere, mastering the TeamDrive web app. I'm Kenneth, and again, today we're focusing on the feature that adds incredible flexibility to your workflow, the TeamDrive web app. So normally with the TeamDrive application, you access TeamDrive via the installed software. Um, and the software can be installed on your mobile device, iOS or Android, and also on your PC devices, Mac, Linux, and Windows as well. But what if you're at a hotel, business center, borrowing a colleague's laptop, or using a device where you can't install the software? That's where the web app comes in. So our mission for today, log into the web client, configure spaces for web access. With that said, by the end of this session, you will know how to do those two things. Also, you'll also know how to enable web access for individual spaces. This webinar is going to be pretty straightforward. It's going to be a little bit shorter than other webinars just because we're just covering the basics, just pretty much getting your feet wet with the web app. And without further ado, let's dive right in. So, part one, logging into the web app. So I'll open up my browser window so we can log in. Okay, so I've already entered my username and I'll go ahead and log in. So as we see here, we have a space. In the previous video, I've already created a space and now we can see this space is available to me because I've logged in with the same user. However, an important note here. So if you log in and just as in this case, you do not see that the spaces you have active on your PC or your mobile device, you don't see them activated here, don't panic. That's very normal. This is standard. And it's just because you have access to a space on your desktop or your mobile device, it doesn't mean that it's automatically available on other devices. This is a security feature. Um, and this also includes the web app, of course. But in the next step, I'll also show you how to enable a space for web access. So if we just take a look at what we have here in the web app, we have the Spaces tab, recent files, where we can see what other users have recently uploaded into a space. On this tab, we can go to see if we have any invitations. Here we can view our activities, and here we can view the trash. Here you also have the option to create a space, to create a new folder, to create a file um, in Microsoft Office, which you would need a Microsoft 365 subscription for. And you have the option here, the ability to sort whatever's listed on the window, for example, by name. So let's work on the next step, enabling web access. So in order to enable web access, you will have to do so on your local installation. So we'll open the TeamDrive app here. And as we can see in the app, I have a space. And what we need to do here is once we are on the Active Spaces tab, where we have a complete overview of all of our spaces, we need to locate the space for which we would like to enable web access. I only have one space, my first space. So we navigate to that space and then we hover the mouse over the space to bring up these additional menu options. And we want to click here on I for information. And if you're doing this on a mobile device, iOS or Android, obviously you don't have a mouse that you can hover, so you would just need to swipe from right to left and you'll see the same menu items. So if we just click on information and then from there we go to advanced. Once we've clicked on advanced, we want to look for web access. And as we see here, the web access for this space is disabled. We simply need to click here and enable it. Okay, so we're done with the app. So let's go back to the web app. Okay, an important note here, as you just witnessed me enabling web access, it's only possible for you to do so in the local app if you have administrator rights in the space. So if you only have super user, read write, read only, you're not able to configure the web access for the space. You must have administrator rights. So if you don't have those rights within the space and you would like to enable web access, you simply need to talk to a user who has administrator rights in the space. Okay, so our next step here. So we've enabled web access, but we still see that the web app is still saying the space cannot be accessed from the web portal. So we have two options here. We can press this refresh button to refresh the spaces, or we can refresh the entire browser window, either or. So I'll just click here to refresh within the TeamDrive web app, and we see I can now activate the space. So I simply need to click, and I hit activate, and now my space is being activated. And now I'm able to access the space via web browser. That's pretty much it for enabling web access. So once you have enabled web access, you're able to download files, upload files, and to do so, you would need to, for example, let's see, I don't have any files in the space. So let's create a file. I'll create a file and add it to the space. So I just created a simple text document. And in order to upload a file, I simply need to drag the file or folder into the web app, just as described here. So I just created a simple text document, test, and now I've uploaded it into my space. And now, let's see if I open my local client, my local TeamDrive app. I will see I have activities. So let's see which activities I have. See, I joined the space. So the file hasn't arrived yet. Oh, it's there. It just didn't show up in my activities. So the file has arrived. Definitely should have been very quick since the file is 0 bytes, but the file is there. So if we go briefly back to the web client. We can see the same overview. Another important note. So if you create a space on a web client, for example, let's do so now. And I mean web app. I keep saying web client, but I mean web app. So we create a space here. So when you create a space using the web app, the web access is automatically enabled. It has to be. Otherwise, you're not able to create a space in the web app. So again, if you create a space in the web app, the web access for that space is automatically enabled. Okay, so we've already talked about administrator rights. And when it comes to enabling web access for your spaces, just keep in mind um, our recommendation is to only enable web access for those spaces you truly need to access via the browser. Otherwise, just use a local client. And that's pretty much it for the web app, for the getting started and being able to do the basics. Again, you can drag and drop files into a space via the browser. If you would like to edit a file, you need to download it. So we can download it here by clicking download, and then the file will be downloaded into my downloads folder, and then I'm able to um, edit the file. And once I've edited the file, I will need to drag it back into the browser in order to upload the file. All right, so just a quick recap, our keys to success. So a quick checklist just to remember. So we want to make sure that we have admin rights within the space if we would like to enable web access. Um, if you aren't able to find spaces, if you start the web app and you aren't able to see the spaces that you need, maybe you need to import them, or you can just go to your local installation and invite yourself or enable the web access there. And again, if you would like to enable web access, we can actually go through that again. 1 second. Just let me open my TeamDrive window. So if we would like to enable web access, we simply need to open our local app, click on active spaces, navigate to the space for which we would like to enable web access, hover our mouse over the space. Again, if you're using a mobile device, iOS or Android, you would need to swipe from right to left and you will see the same menu. Then we click on I and we click on advanced. And from there we go to web access. And there we have the option to enable it, disable it, or use the provider default settings. So I don't need to make any changes, so I just clicked cancel. So that's it for our webinar today. If you're new to TeamDrive and haven't yet used TeamDrive, definitely visit our website and download TeamDrive now. It's available for Windows, Mac OS, Linux, iOS, and Android devices. And If there are any questions, I'll definitely be ready to answer those now. So let me just view the chat. Okay, so at the moment there aren't any questions. So again, thank you for your time and